Ukrainians are now facing concerns about the safety of the Chernobyl nuclear plant. It's the site of a nuclear disaster in 1986. It has now been knocked off of the power grid after it was seized by Russian forces. AP's Charles de Ledesma has more.
Chernobyl's Ukrainian grid operator, citing the national nuclear regulator, says facilities are without power, adding the diesel generators have fuel just for 48 hours. Without power, a spokesperson says the parameters of nuclear and radiation safety cannot be controlled. However, the Vienna-based International Atomic Energy Agency says that while the development violates a key safety pillar on ensuring uninterrupted power supply, it sees no critical impact on safety. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Russia announced plans for new ceasefires on Wednesday to allow civilians to leave several parts of Ukraine that are besieged by Russian forces. This despite Ukrainian officials accusing Moscow of shelling another evacuation route in the southern part of the city. Ukraine's deputy prime minister said Russia confirmed evacuation routes would lead out of cities including Sumy, Mariupol, and several towns near the capital, Kyiv. She said 5,000 people were able to leave Sumy on Tuesday, but in Mariupol, efforts failed to get people out. A Russian siege has left the southeastern port city with dwindling supplies of electricity, heat, food, and water. The deputy prime minister said Russian forces fired on a humanitarian convoy. A Red Cross spokesperson called the situation there apocalyptic. A grand jury in the U.S. state of Colorado has indicted a county election clerk who sowed doubt about the 2020 presidential election, alleging she was part of a, quote, deceptive scheme to breach voting system technology that is used across the country. This is according to the indictment, which was made public on Wednesday. Tina Peters, a Republican elected in 2018 to oversee elections in Mesa County, was charged with 7 felony and 3 misdemeanor counts, including attempting to influence a public servant, criminal impersonation, and first-degree official misconduct. Also facing charges in the case is Deputy Clerk Belinda Nisley. Over the past year, Peters has appeared on stage with supporters of former President Donald Trump, who made false claims that the 2020 presidential election was stolen. Peters recently announced plans to launch a campaign for Colorado Secretary of State. On the podcast, a former Trump advisor, Steve Bannon. An Islamic State suicide bomber who killed 64 people at a Shiite mosque in northwest Pakistan last week was an Afghan exile who returned home to train for the attack. This according to police on Wednesday. There have been warnings Afghanistan could become a recruiting ground and staging post for militants since the Taliban returned to power last year, following the hasty withdrawal of U.S.-led forces. The Taliban have pledged they will not allow Afghan soil to be used to plot attacks on other nations. But last month, the UN Security Council said, quote, terrorist groups enjoy greater freedom there than at any time in recent history. Gunmen killed 19 security personnel, including 13 soldiers, in an assault in the northwest Nigerian state of Kebbi, a security source and residents said Wednesday. The battle erupted late Tuesday in Kanya, just a day after dozens of members of a self-defense militia were killed in the same area. At least 57 vigilantes were killed Monday in an ambush by heavily armed criminal gangs who are known locally as bandits. President Joe Biden of the United States has signed an executive order on government oversight of cryptocurrency that urges the Federal Reserve to explore whether the central bank should create its own digital currency. The Biden administration sees the explosive popularity of cryptocurrency as an opportunity to examine its risks and benefits. The executive order had been widely anticipated by the finance industry and by others who have compared cryptocurrency markets with the Wild West. The order comes amid growing concern that Russia may be using cryptocurrency to avoid the impact of financial sanctions imposed by Western allies in response to the invasion of Ukraine.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.